I'd be keynote speaker. And of course, absolutely, come. So out of that, it grew. Now, I should say that there's a group of us here involved putting this on. It's called Maker's Place, and it's sort of like a creative community in Redfern. And Maker's Place are very busy with the Keshi Industries, making plasma technology, alternative energy machines, healing pads, all that sort of stuff. My colleague here will talk a little bit about that in a minute. But first what I'll do is just tell you about the conference. It's the end of July for 2 days on a weekend. It's at the Mosman Art Gallery. And we've got a little bit of stuff up here, as you can see. Exo Conference in Sydney. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about the speakers that we've got. So, if we could have the first... Oh, who's that lady? My goodness. Okay, well, this was... well, Mariana, we sort of wanted her so much, and when she said yes, we were so thrilled. So, yes, she's one of our speakers. Now, she's going to talk for about an hour about certain things, and I should add, at the end of each day, we're going to have a Q&A. And the speakers of, say, that Saturday or the Sunday will be in the Q&A, in a panel on the stage. And what you haven't heard through the day by those speakers, please field questions. And if you've booked tickets, you'll be invited a couple of weeks beforehand to submit questions, just like Q&A does on the ABC. Okay, so you'll be invited to submit questions. But we will have time for questions that are not submitted. It's just if we've got a good idea of the questions that are going to be asked, we can sort of plan which is the best person to answer the questions that you might have. Okay, so we've got Mariana, we've got Richard Dolan, but unfortunately Richard, we couldn't fly him in from New York as much as we wanted to, so we've got him on Skype for an hour and a half. Okay, and that's on the Sunday morning. Then, of course, there's Duncan Rhodes. Okay, we all know who Duncan is. He's going to be actually one of our first speakers, and his title of his first talk is The Secret History of Australia. Now, this is something he's going to build from the conference. He is planning to do Nexus Conference next year up in Queensland, and the title of that conference will be The Secret History of Australia. So it's tying in everything we are interested in here about UFOs with our ancient cultures, the indigenous connections with the star peoples that goes back thousands of years. That's all going to be part of his talk, not to be missed. Okay, then we have, Brendan Murphy. I'm sure those people that come to these days here will be familiar with Brendan and Amy. They spoke here. Brendan's very much involved with DNA activation and exo-politics and about everything else too. And he's the author of The Grand Illusion, which I'm sure a lot of you have actually bought that book and read it. So they'll be very important speakers. And our very own Megan Hazelwood, who was sitting here during the movie. I don't know where she is now, but she's probably got other things to do. Megan Hazelwood, we're calling her the Queen of Crop Circles. She is in many respects. She'll be showing a lot of footage of the crop circles that have appeared this year, and also her experiences over the last few years, which includes actually watching a light over a field, which she filmed, which I'm sure a lot of you have seen that film, that footage, of a crop circle being created. Okay, so it's pretty unique stuff. Actually, one of her videos was in Stephen Greer's film today. Just for a moment, that light over a field. That was something that she took, I think, in 2007 when she was in England. Okay, and then, everybody knows Jenny Edgley. Jenny Edgley I used to work with. We had a health farm in Queensland for 5 years. She's the mother of alternative health in Australia. She's very much into new health technologies, things that we can do to protect ourselves from EMF energy, the tie-in with extraterrestrials, everything. Probably a lot of you remembered when she had the health farm in Queensland, there was a lot in the press about the fact we'd spent $100,000 to create a field where UFOs could land. Unfortunately, they never did. But we had it all ready, and we spent that money gladly because we wanted them to come down. So we've had long connections. That was 25 years ago. So long connections with this community that's here today and long connections with alternative health. Now, we have these two special people over here, Lisa and Jimmy. Okay, now I'm going to give the microphone to my friend Alex here because he knows these people. He's done workshops with them and they are very involved with the plasma technologies and things like that. Am I allowed to say that? Okay, here we go. Alex.
I need to take the mic from you.
No, perhaps that works.
No, to be recorded.
Okay.
Maybe you can stand. We can stand close.
Yeah, well, you go. Go. You've got 2 minutes.
Past lifetimes as well.
2 minutes. 1 minute and a half.
Okay. Don't rush me. I can't deal with this.
Okay, can
Needs to be
everyone hear
professional.
Alex?
Okay, so I met Lisa and Jimmy. I'm tethered to you, so stand a bit closer.
Oh, all right,
thank you.
okay, all right. Sorry.
I met Lisa and Jimmy probably about 4 or 5 months ago. So they're aquaponic farmers up in the Central Coast. They've been following Kesh, Meren Kesh, if anybody's heard of the Kesh Foundation. So with free technology, free energy, health, revolutionising how we're going to be moving to the new dimension as what we've heard about already today. There's lots of negative things about Kesh and positive, but we think that there's a bit of a scare campaign. But the people who are working with the technology have had real life evidence of how it's helping with people. We shouldn't say healing, we can get into particular problems with processing various illnesses in the body, such as cancer. And we have got some cancer cream, or processing cream, we should say, that's going to be demonstrating, as well as evidence to show cancer spots and so on of the body that's been processed, especially through Lisa. So that's going to be very interesting. But coming from an agriculture perspective, how plasma technology, which is free energy, can be used to increase plant growth and yield, especially tomatoes in wintertime, which is absolutely fantastic. So they'll do a talk about this, as well as 2 one-hour workshops, following on with the conversation, because there's so much information to cover, so we're granting them 2 further hours over lunchtime to talk about their experiences and for people to get more information. We also run we're looking to run some Kesh workshops in Redfern. They also are part of a group in Murwillumbah, Northern Rivers, where they're also working on Kesh technologies, and we've got a very active group there. So things are happening, it's very exciting, so we can give you more information during that time.
Thank you very much, Alex.
Just give me one
now,
second.
one thing to add,
Sorry, Mike.
the price. Okay, for 2 days at the Mosman Art Gallery, early bird price, $135 for the 2 days. Thank you very much. I think it's a very good deal. I would say this is not a profit-making exercise. We're doing this completely as volunteers. Okay, it's not like Nexus, so we don't have a lot of overheads. So please, we'd like you to patronise. If you Google, what's the best thing to Google for tickets?
So we've got the website up there, xus.events.
There it is. Okay.
You don't need the www these days.
No, you don't need, or just Exus. We're the only people there. We've got some, one of our committee has done some, what do they call, website optimization. So if you just type in Exus, up comes the event. So, and that's the entrance to the gallery. My goodness, where'd that photo come from? There you go. Okay, and that's Nano. Nano's part of our committee. So, okay, everyone knows Nano. Thank you very much, Mariana. That's very kind of you indeed. And thank you, Paul, for actually... Yeah.